Hey guys, before we get to the commentary covering my whole basketball career, I just want to let you know that this video features Dead Space 3 Awakened DLC gameplay. I'm not covering the game as a series, but I did want to showcase some of the new enemies and some of the stuff for you so you could see what it was like in case you wanted to drop the 10 bucks and pick it up. It released earlier this week, and I thought it'd be fun for you to watch. Enjoy the video about my basketball triumphs and trials. See ya. What is going on, guys and girls? This is GhostRobo, and we're here to talk basketball, my favorite thing in the world until it became a travesty. I decided to, it's just kind of, man, let's start over. I've been playing a lot of basketball lately. It's my favorite thing. Since I was about 6 years old, I completely adored everything about basketball. Playing it, watching it, following it, even coaching it. I coached high school basketball for 2 years. Travel AAU. This was just recently. This was when I first started YouTube. I coached a freshman high school team, and I coached Travel AAU. We went all over the Midwest, and it was a boatload of fun. But back to me personally. I started playing basketball when I was 6 years old, 6 or 7. Of course, I just goofed around with my dad like in a little tiny hoop when I was younger. But I started going to basketball camps pretty regularly when I was like 7, 8 years old. Played on my first teams. I was really crappy, and I still fell in love with it. I had this local college. I lived in Michigan at the time, and this local basketball camp, Rochester College basketball camp that I went to, and it was like a small school. It wasn't any D1, 2, or 3. It was like a national small, whatever that freaking conference is, or classification. And I love the people there. They were wonderful, amazing teachers, and ran a fantastic camp. And so I went with my friend, and I was really nervous, and because I sucked, but it was okay, and like I enjoyed it so much that I asked my mom to send me back again, and my mom was shocked because normally I didn't do things by myself like that. Like I wanted to always be with a friend or my brother, but I loved basketball so much that I just started absorbing as much information and practice time as I could, and before you know it, I was getting pretty darn good. By the time I was in middle school, I was the best player at my school. Granted, I went to a small private school, so I'm not saying I was LeBron James, the second coming, but I was pretty good. I developed really good dribbling skills and really good shooting skills, and being left-handed was a huge advantage for me. I continued to go to this basketball camp 4 weeks every summer. I continued to practice on my own. I continued to play on teams, and in middle school, I played on my school team. I played on sort of it wasn't like AAU. That was nowhere near as big back then, but I guess it was kind of in between like a school team and an AAU travel team. We didn't travel, but it was against, it wasn't just like random house teams. It was against actual pre-made teams, and I dominated. I did really good. I led my leagues in scoring, in three-pointers, and in free throws, and I had a heck of a time. People at my school thought I was a complete ball hog. They would apparently give my parents dirty looks in the stands. I didn't know about this till much later. I played for a really horrible school, which further allowed me to improve my skills. Like, some people say the best thing to do is play against good competition. I think one of the best things to do when you're young is play on a really crappy team and be the star, because it infuses a confidence and a level of comfortability with the basketball that you can't get if you're just a role player. So from a very young age, I was point guard. I was dribbling all over the place. I was taking tons of shots. I was scoring lots of points, and I was gaining confidence that, hey, I'm pretty darn good. Even to the point where, embarrassingly enough, I bought the briefcase Jordans. If you don't know what those are, Google them. Probably, gosh, what year was this? Maybe like 2001? There was a Nike came out with a Michael Jordan shoe that came in a briefcase, and I felt like the biggest badass in the world carrying those into practice every day in my red briefcase, unboxing my Jordans, putting them on, and being like, let's ball it up. So I had tons of fun playing basketball in middle school. I was really good. I continued to go to tons of different camps. I had referees come up to me after games and be like, hey, you're fantastic. You're amazing. You're so skilled. Just, keep working hard. Stay strong in school, and, you'll probably be playing college basketball. And that was kind of where I was headed. I was scoring, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 points a game, and like I said, great free throw percentage, great three-point shooter. I began to run into some issues around 7th, 8th grade because I wasn't growing. Now I'm 6'3". Back then I was like 5'2". 5 feet around there, 5 foot to 5'2". I had really small feet too. I think I wore like size 7 shoes, just baby. I had one girl tell me that I had Barbie feet, and that was one of the most memorable and like deflating moments of my younger school years, because it's like at that age, I don't know, I was probably like 9 or 10 or maybe 11. I entered middle school really early. I entered middle school as a 10-year-old, which was a stupid thing, but I skipped a couple grades and had a strange birthday, blah, blah. But this girl, she's like, you have Barbie feet. And I was like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. And I want to cry, but whatever. I love sports. I didn't really care about girls at all then, so it didn't bother me so much. Just in retrospect, it was like, dang, that's kind of a damning thing to say to someone. But I'm sure she meant no harm. Anyways, I ran into some issues as I began to grow because I was not gaining weight and I was not gaining height. So as kids began to awkwardly grow mustaches and bulk up and reach for the stars, I was staying on the ground with a baby face and a baby body, and my skill could only carry me so far. I started running into instances where even though I was perfectly capable of scoring, I was too small, both strength-wise and size-wise. This kind of all really reached a head when I moved to California my freshman year, because I was very short and very skilled, and the coach of the team in California, again, I went from private schools my whole life to a gigantic public school of 4,000 kids in California. He was a former scout for the San Antonio Spurs, and he was a huge man who wanted huge men, or men in the making, on his team. So he chose size over skill. So even though I was doing great in tryouts, and I can vividly remember one of the varsity players trying to convince the coach to make sure I was on the team because he thought I could just shoot the lights out, which I could. You can see where this is going. I got cut, and it was devastating. I remember thinking I was fine because, like I said, I was doing really good in the tryouts. All the drills, perfectly, in the top bracket. All the scrimmages, doing great, shooting well. And then it was like, no, you've been cut. And I remember just being floored, just shocked. I walked home, and I wasn't even like, oh, go cry in my room. I just told my mom, straight up, and we just sat there. I remember sitting there in the dark. We were eating some sort of weird pasta, and I just could not believe it for the life of me. So devastated, so shocked. I just moved, left everything I knew for the last 9 years, and then got cut from the basketball team. So I grew 10 inches my freshman year, and this is both a curse and a blessing, because I was already gaining a little bit before tryouts, but grew completely to be over 6 foot by the end of my freshman year. I also got my wisdom teeth in, all 4, which I still have, that year. So it was an extreme stress year for my body. Health-wise, that impacts you severely. I missed, I think, 70 days of school my freshman year. Not only did I grow 10 inches, which depletes your body enormously, but I had all 4 wisdom teeth come in, which is like an extremely stressful, traumatic thing for your body. So I was sick a lot, and it wasn't a lot of fun. But I maintained basketball, and I got a very cool private coach who I liked a lot. He liked me a lot and told my parents my shooting skill was amazing and I had to continue on with it. At that point, I had shifted my shot because I was shooting before due to lack of strength and size more from my hip, and I elevated things up to my ear, forehead level, which was a huge growth step for me. For a month or 2 period, I completely sucked at shooting, which felt so uncomfortable because I was so used to being a just terror from the three-point line, and now I couldn't even make free throws. But after adjusting my sophomore year, I felt pretty good. I was growing into my body more. The unfortunate part was I gained 10 inches, and I don't think I gained any weight. So I was just over 6 feet and probably 118, 120 pounds, light as a feather. And man, my dad was the same way. If you've seen my dad, he's so ripped now, and he's so strong and just freaking amazing for a 54-year-old, 53-year-old man. But back in his high school days, he was like me. He didn't fully really mature until he was 25, 26, which sucks for sports. Both of us encountered problems. The thing he did that I neglected to do, which was work out aggressively. I had plenty of people try to help me. My mom really tried to push me in this direction. Coaches really tried to suggest it, and I guess I was just too lazy. I thought I could get by with skill, and in my own weird mind, I convinced myself that my skill would get me somehow beyond this hurdle of size, and it didn't. I got cut again my sophomore year and freaking felt like killing someone because my identity had been stripped. This was me, besides being a smarty pants and loving video games and having a great family. Basketball was my identity. Smarty pants sounds like such a silly thing to say. Let's rewind and take that back. Besides being intelligent and playing basketball and having a great having a family playing sports, basketball is my identity. And so now not being able to play for 2 consecutive years was just sucked. I played tennis, which turned out to be my favorite high school experience. I went on to make All-State and be MVP and blah, blah. That was great. But basketball still held this beautiful place in my heart, and it wasn't being fulfilled. I made the team my junior year, and it was a rough time. I was so out of experience from no play that I basically needed an entire season just to readjust to game intensity. And that's something that you can't recreate. And at the high school level, it is so much higher than anything I had experienced. I just wasn't mentally prepared. And so I had a great practice year and a terrible in-game year. I looked great in practice, terrible in games. I think it was just missing those 2 years of time. I wasn't ready. My senior year, I transferred to, mind you, I was still practicing. My senior year, I transferred to Indiana. Looked like a star out there. I had newfound confidence. I was growing some and thought it was going to be great. I was shooting 60-some% from the three-point line the first half of the season, and I encountered all sorts of weird weird things where I'd score, 6 threes in the first half and then get benched the rest of the night. I don't know. It was a very strange situation. I can understand now. Since I've coached now, I can understand that me being I mean, they even put me on JV for some games, which is embarrassing as heck. But me being a transfer senior who was skinny but a shooter, I wasn't going to be like, oh, I can be their post guy. And they'd already been working with specific players for 3 years. They had a trio of very talented freshmen that they wanted to develop. And so I was kind of odd man out, even though I technically should have been playing. So it was an incredibly disappointing year. And I basically hated everything at that point when the senior year finished and it sucked. I hated everything. I didn't even go to my last 2 games. But the weird part was I began to practice basketball so much. Oh my God. My skill increase from end of senior year season to like 6 months later was just as large as the last like 5 years combined. I practiced so much. I improved so much. I had like this vengeance energy that was fueling me to get better and better and basically make my shooting ability like uncanny. Like I can still walk in the gym, pick up a basketball, and shoot 70-80% from the three-point line pretty much from anywhere on the court. I'm not saying that to brag or to. I don't feel cool because I didn't really play that much in high school. I never had a chance to play college like I wanted to, and it all sort of sucked. But I had this determination that I was going to prove to myself at the very least that I was a fantastic basketball player, and I think I've done that. I still struggle with the gaining weight aspect. Now I'm 6'3" and weigh like 155, which is light as a feather still, but better than a baby feather, which is what I was previously. I'm aggressively working out now. I'm trying to put on weight. I have a body that could be 200 pounds easily. I just have a family and a metabolism and an overall thing that makes me so skinny. I don't know. It just runs in the family, and I'm hoping, like I said, in the next couple of years, I'll fully develop and be able to gain that weight and muscle up, and maybe I can play in some adult leagues. Or people have thrown it at me, maybe you should go. Since I didn't go to college, I technically could enter any college as a freshman and try out for the team and see how that works, which maybe is something I will pursue. I don't know. But I've played in a couple adult leagues here or there, and it's a weird experience because I'll have nights where I'll score 30 points and feel like I'm a star, and then I'll get really sad that I never did anything in high school. And then I'll have nights where it all feels like that junior year where I'm so out of practice, and a lot of these adult leagues have guys who either played college or were, very close to playing college, and I don't have that game. The only thing I'm lacking is game experience and a lot of defensive intensity. Offensively, I'm a star. So I don't know. I want to make a basketball video to show you guys me playing and shooting. I think it should be fun. Again, I don't think I'm some Kobe Bryant or some LeBron James. I just think I'm a very good skill player that had a lot of bad turns of luck and didn't do what he needed to do. So the culmination of this story is that I coached basketball. When I was a junior in high school, I coached my younger brother's 7th grade team. That was a great experience. And I can talk about this in a different video because there were so many stories of parents hating me and just not thinking I could do it, and then triumphing, is that a word? Becoming triumphant, overcoming, victory, greatness, good game, all that good stuff. And I ended up coaching high school basketball, AAU basketball, and being regarded as one of the best coaches in the area, which is a huge honor and something I was so proud of. So we'll save that for another video. But yeah, now I practice basketball a few times a week. I love shooting. I love just putting an iPod in and playing. I wish I had this same love of practice now that I have now back when I was in middle school and high school, because I guess I just didn't. I was too concerned with having fun with my brothers and playing the latest video game and getting all A's and all sorts of other crap that limited my time to practice and get in the gym. And it's one of my only and biggest regrets, a huge regret that I don't know that I can ever do anything about. Maybe I can. Some people have said that I should have just taken the years off to work out hardcore and focus on basketball and at least face that demon so that it isn't something that haunts me for the rest of my life. But I don't know. I have yet to do that. I still debate it often. But I don't know. Maybe the ship has sunk. The sun has set on that story. Either way, I still love basketball. I still love coaching. And I still am happy that I had an extreme addiction to sports my whole life, and hope that continues forevermore. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. That is my basketball history. I'm accepting any challengers for one-on-one or shooting competitions. Find me, which you probably can't, but I would love to play against many of you. I'm sure it would be a blast of a time. And like I said, maybe I can do a basketball video, and I'll make a coaching video later on if you guys are interested in that. all my experiences with crazy parents and crazy kids and stuff of that nature. But for now, we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, add your favorites. It helps out a ton. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more videos like this. It's been requested for more life-ish stuff, so I'm bringing it to you. Hope you enjoyed. Have a fantastic day, guys and girls. Drink some hot chocolate, and we'll see you all later.